Hi guys, my name's Seb Tudor, and I'm the man on the Silver Mountain. Welcome back. Today I would like to talk about something that has sat with me since I was a teenager, and that is that anger and rage and frustration are the best fuels for getting anything done. Um, if you are looking to go for a run and you just set yourself on fire and you go, and at the end of that you're going to be you've beaten your frustrations and things like that, then that's going to fuel you all the way through that run. The reason why I've started this channel is out of frustration with other people around me, with the state of the world, with the fact that, especially within areas of small business and things like that, there is no appreciation for the other people around you, and it is so selfish. All of those areas are, and more, are reasons for me to be doing what I'm doing right now. For reasons that I look to become a coach in the first place, reasons that I have moved on to trying to create video content for as many people as possible, to try and help as many people as I can, because the world is not a fair place, it's not a nice place, it's not a place that makes it easy for people to advance in their lives, and as a result I want to generate the discussions, I want to generate the ideas and put them across to people in such a way that it helps. And I've got a wealth of things that I've interacted with in the past already, but there's always more. And as a result, I want to be here to always address those things when they materialize. But lots of people get told that they shouldn't be angry, or that they shouldn't be they shouldn't let it out in various ways. To those people, I say bullshit. There are two different ways of expressing anything. One is constructive, one is destructive. The way to express any emotion is constructively. It is hard to do sometimes, especially with some of these negative emotions, especially sadness. I know that especially when I felt sad and lonely, and I've been self-doubt's been ticking away in the back of my head and stuff like that. That's been a destructive thing because it's slowed me down, and I realised that sucks. That is not a thing that should happen. How did I remedy that? Simple. I got pissed at myself. I got so angry that I just went and did things, because that is the one thing I have done with anger since I was a kid. There was a time when anger would paralyse me. There was a time when it would stop me from doing things. I'd clam up, and it would then drive me from anger to sadness to self-hatred and self-loathing, and then that would be the end of it. And then it would fade off, and then it would start again at a different place when something else happened. That is not a way to do things. That is not a way to live your life at all. And I learned this, and when I was in school, I was overweight. I was not particularly attractive. I know full well that this was the case, to be fair, because of the way that I like to stand back and observe my surroundings. I was probably also, well, I can almost certainly say that I was considered one of the creepy kids. It's fine. I'm completely aware of that now in retrospect. But when I was getting towards the end of school, I got really upset and angry with myself at the fact that I had let that happen to me, that I'd let myself be mocked and ridiculed for that entire time, in which case I lost 3.5 stone, something like that, over the last little while that I was at school. I continued to then try and keep myself fit and healthy and doing things out of that anger, out of that frustration. When I had a bad situation when I finished teaching, I did not leave there on particularly good terms. I had a couple of troubling issues in my personal life at the time, and as a result, when I went into my new job, when I went and started my first job as a team member, I was angry with myself, I was angry with the situation, and yet did I get upset and just cry about it or get frustrated or whatever else? No, What I did was I worked my arse off and I got promoted 2 grades in one go because I had been so exemplary, and then I kept that up all the way until I got so pissed off with the place that I realised that the biggest thing that I needed to do to move forward, to keep allowing myself to push against life and to push into the better places, was literally to shrug off that place and move on and to go and experience new things. And as a result, I left. That has fueled me for a long time. That anger and frustration and the getting pissed at life and just fighting back. But here's the thing, though. I see an awful lot of anger in the world right now. I see an awful lot of destructive kind of anger that just breaks things down and stops people from doing things, from acting on intelligent thought, from creating new things, from overcoming issues and problems. And one of those things that stands out across the board are the grand sweeping political issues, be it international politics, be it national politics, be it gender politics, race politics, whatever. All of those issues, there's so much anger, there's so much hatred, and there's so much fuel to burn. And because some of these issues stem back from potentially even hundreds of years ago, 40, 50 years ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever, there is usually some fuel to burn on these things, and as a result, I see it kind of going to waste. If we jump into the mindset of being at the bottom of the silver mountain, you're looking around, you need stuff to keep yourself warm on that climb, you need fuel, and yet looking around at the moment, if I'm starting to climb on one of these issues, on one of these big political issues or something like that, if I've got all of this fuel and fire inside me, I'm going to use it to get to the top. I'm going to use it to weather it all the way and not stop. What I see a lot of people doing at the moment is literally just setting fire to all of it at the bottom. And they're not getting anywhere because of it, because they're all clustered around these fires at the bottom, just making noise and complaining that it's a tall mountain to climb. If you look, considering I did gender videos of just a little while ago, let's take a look at the gender politics issues. You've got so many people getting angry over this stuff, and yet none of them are talking, none of them are doing anything. You've got people who who may confront some of it, doing some of these gender political issues, and doing more to help achieve the goals of these various arguments, by removing themselves from it, by actually being a part of it. You've got so much rage and hatred, and all it is attacking backwards and forwards. It's not creating dialogue, it's not solving problems, it's not letting people work out how best to transport the fuel up so that you can get up this mountain, so that you can use it to survive the climb. And as a result, the thing that I would say to those people is, you need to stop just setting fire to shit. That fuel, that rage, that's valuable. That needs to be channeled and set up and used in the right places. You can't just set fire to it everywhere. As soon as you see fuel does not mean that it needs to be ignited and burned. You need to carry that up to the right place first. This is why I look at, especially as we were talking gender politics, in regards to the various movements around various rights, and you've got some people who are actively doing the thing. They are working within the system, they are trying to promote dialogues, and they are trying to get things written into legislation and things like that, so that it all solidifies parts of a system that will work and that can be enforced. But then you've got the other people who are literally using lynch mob-esque tactics, fueled by rage, to swirl around in the middle of fucking nowhere, doing nothing. All they are doing is burning themselves out on empty space. They are not climbing. They are, if anything, they are only promoting the the moving away from the bottom of the mountain, moving back to the village where it's safe and quiet and where you don't need to touch anything. There's a long way to go, and you can do it by channeling that rage into the right places, by using it as a fuel to keep you going through all of those hard points and all those hard times. You cannot do it by just wasting it and burning out at the very bottom, at the starting line. And as a result, it's one of these things that I've talked to people about before, especially when I was in work, and it's one of these things that is also supported by science. You know, if you are angry, you have an adrenal response, cortisol, which is a chemical that's used to fuel yourself in fight or flight. That is released into your system, and this is what it's also one of the reasons why being angry all the time and having a high level of stress is bad for you, because cortisol is kind of a stress reaction, and it like not flushing it from your body effectively, not burning it off, can have it clog your veins and arteries and stuff, and break things down, damage your the various structures in your body, just due to it not being processed fast enough and just having it build up. You know, so you don't want to be, you want to use your anger in such a way that there's a payoff to allow for the satisfaction, the calming down, the relief afterwards, and you need to burn that stuff off. So chemically, you've got this energy source, you've got this power supply. In terms of visualizing it as the mountain, you've got this fuel to help you weather it. You don't need to just burn out over nothing. You don't need to build all this stuff up in your body and effectively have it poison you and break you down from the inside out, because that just means that, you know, if you're fighting something that's a legitimate cause and all you're doing is burning yourself out, both internally, physiologically, and in terms of a more ephemeral, mental, emotional kind of way of doing things, all you're doing is disadvantaging yourself. All you're doing is shortening your life, shortening the amount of time that you can talk, that you can speak, and burning yourself out at the bottom, leaving you to die in the snow whilst other people are racing to the top. That's my thoughts on this. There's probably more that I could say, but I'm not sure how much I could go into, or how little I could go into. I don't want to go overboard on this particular video, but if you want to hear me talk about this kind of thing more in regards to anger as an energy and how to use it, then please leave me a like down below, so I know that this is something that people want me to pay attention to. Otherwise, drop me a comment down in the comments, just to let me, when have you had been so angry that you just needed to do something and you channeled it effectively, or when have you been so angry that you just burned yourself out and left yourself in a worse state than you were before. You know, let me know. Otherwise, please subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in the video tomorrow. Take care, guys.